Here with a closer look at the Bob Filner plea bargain and the punishment he faces is KPBS investigative reporter Amitha Sharma. Amitha, you were in the courtroom today when the mayor formally entered his plea. Break down for us the seriousness of these charges.
Well, Bob Filner pleaded guilty to 1 count of felony false imprisonment and 2 counts of misdemeanor battery. The false imprisonment involved Bob Filner restraining a woman against her will. This has become known as the Filner headlock. The 2 misdemeanor battery charges involve Filner kissing a woman without her permission. In another case, he patted a woman or actually grabbed a woman on her backside, again against her wishes.
What are the terms of this plea bargain agreement?
The terms are that Filner will be in home confinement. He'll be confined to his house for 3 months. He'll be on probation for 3 years, during which he must undergo psychological treatment, during which also he cannot vote. He will also not be able to accrue, he won't be able to collect any accrual in his pension from the day that the felony was committed back in March of this year.
So his pension as mayor. What about as far as fines go, anything like that? Will that be determined?
Well, one more thing. If he violates the terms of this agreement, he could go to jail for up to 6 months. He will have to pay court costs, restitution, etc. Now, this agreement has not been formalized. It will be formalized in December before
And then what happens next? Before that happens, he actually has to come back and actually take a mugshot, right?
So later this month, he'll be formally booked, have a mugshot taken, and then released to probation.
Okay, and he's not allowed to run for office either. Is that forever or just during his probation?
This is forever. He cannot run for office again. And again, we're talking about a man who served as a city councilman, who was on the school board, who was a 10-term congressman, and the former mayor of a very large city.
Okay, and I do have to say that Bob Filner's attorney did make a statement about this outside of the courtroom today. Let's listen.
I think he's a much more humbled man, in my own personal view, from the first time I met him early in this. I think this is to start out with something that he did not realize was as bad as it was perceived by other people, and rehabilitation. He's got ongoing counseling going on. Having to go through this process, I don't think any one of you ever want to enter a guilty plea in a court. It's a very sobering event.
So he admitted in court. He admitted, according to his attorney, you know, and according to you. Why do you think Filner pleaded guilty to these charges? Why not say, you know, no comment, or I'm not pleading either way?
Well, let's go back to the summertime when these allegations of sexual harassment first publicly surfaced against Filner. One by one, women came out before the cameras and spoke and described, in one form or another, sexual misconduct allegations against Bob Filner. So all of this was established in the public record. There were around 20 women who made their stories public. It was going to be a very daunting task for Bob Filner to allow these cases, at least these 3 charges that he was presented with today, to go forward because of what had been established in the public record. There was a pattern. And then also, in the words of Filner's defense attorney, Jerry Coughlin, there was a strong desire by Filner to put this behind him and to work on his rehabilitation. We're talking about a man who believes he has a legacy as a freedom rider back in the 1960s, as a 10-term congressman, and he did not want his recent conduct to sully that reputation. Now, whether it sullies his reputation is very much up to the public, and I think a lot of people believe that reputation has been damaged beyond repair.
A lot of people, that was going to be my next question, because a lot of politicians, it's nothing new, get caught up in a scandal or something happens and they recovered. Do you think there's any chance of that if he moved away from San Diego, perhaps back in DC, perhaps someplace else, or do you think it was just across the board that he probably won't be able to recover his reputation from this?
I think because this scandal, the allegations against him were so pervasive and so repetitive, and the fact that this case got so much national attention, it got international attention, I think public rehabilitation, if he wanted to surface or resurface for maybe working as an analyst for a think tank, I think it would be difficult. I think it would be hard for the public to swallow the rehabilitation of Bob Filner. But
you
the
never
public
know.
can be
It's happened.
fickle. Yes,
it's
happened before.
All right, KPBS investigative reporter Amitha Sharma. Thank you.
Thank you.